Here's another keepsakecrafts.net video for House of Gems. Today we're using art glass head pins to make asymmetrical earrings. So I picked up these art glass head pins at a bead show a while back, and I wanted to do something different with them. The artist simply melts glass and then shapes it onto a bit of wire. And then when it cools, you have this great head pin with the glass permanently fused to the wire. So I wanted to do something different, and I decided to go for a pair of asymmetrical earrings. Now, these are going to go together quickly, but it took a lot longer to plan the design than it will take to do the assembly. Because when you're doing a pair that's symmetrical, you just design one that looks nice and then copy it to make the second. But when you're doing asymmetry, you want them to work together, to go together, but they have to be balanced and different enough that they look interesting. So it's a bit of a juggling act. But I have mine all laid out here. I'm going to use 2 head pins on each. One will be a little dangle, and I have these copper ear wires that I've made. And I'm just going to start assembling. Now, since these head pins are glass, I wanted to make sure to have plenty of other glass pieces in here. So this one is a lampwork bead, as is this. This is kind of a fun way to use up leftover bits and pieces of beads that maybe you only have a single one and you're wondering what to do with it. And you actually can use it in a pair of earrings even if you only have one. I added in these little blue beads. I thought they just added something nice. And then on this head pin I'm just going to put just 2 beads to make a little dangle. And then we'll use our usual tools, chain nose pliers, wire cutters, and round nose pliers to shape our dangles. Now on this one I wanted some kind of open element, and so I have this ring. I'm just going to trim this wire 3/8 of an inch above the last bead, and then make a simple loop and open it to put on this ring. Next I'm going to take a leftover bit of the wire and I'm going to make a simple loop on the end, slide on a single bead, trim that to 3/8 of an inch above where it comes out of the bead, and make another simple loop. Now this loop can go through that ring. These wires for the head pins are hardened metal, so they're kind of brittle. I'm trying to be careful not to overwork them. And then I open the loop of my ear wire, and I'm going to slide on this loop and the loop of my little dangle. So there's one earring. I had to change my plans for this little dangle because the wire actually broke off on me really short. So I just put it up there. But that's cute. And now for the next one. So wherever you want your earring to loop into a ring, just cut it off about 3/8 of an inch above the last bead. Make a loop, and then that goes into your ring. I had to take a break there, but one thing I discovered as I'm working on this, you kind of have to change things around as you go along for practicalities. My little dangle here, the wire snapped off short on me, so it ended up being much shorter. And then I moved it until I found a place that I thought it looked nice, which is right up here over the bird where it kind of dangles freely and isn't in the way of anything. And then down here I had to change out a spacer because the one I had there was just too big and it was in the way. But I'm nearly done. I'm going to add a couple seed beads to this one and make this one a longer dangle than the other. Trim it off 3/8 of an inch, make a loop, and then those pieces that I'm trimming off I'm using to make the rest of the earring. And on this one we'll do like we did the other. I'm going to make a slightly larger loop because it needs to go through this. This is why beaders need a stash, so that when you run into design issues, you have plenty of options to choose from. So you can make your plan, but sometimes you just have to get it figured out as you go along. And I keep looking at the one over here and saying, yeah, I like it. Yeah. Alright. So now we're going to make the loop up here, and then we're almost done. And let's see, the last decision is where to put this dangle. My first thought was up here, and yeah, I think so. And you know what's great about making your own jewelry is if you wear it for a while and you say, you know what, I think I'd like that better if it were here or there or the other place. You can get out your tools and move it. I've done that. I've taken jewelry apart, I've remade it. And there they are. Aren't those cool? A pair of asymmetrical earrings using art glass, lampwork beads, and a lot of very interesting elements. It'll make people look twice when they look at you wearing them.